Well, good evening and welcome to the Sealy City Council Candidates Forum. I'm Joe Southern, editor of the Sealy News, and we want to welcome you here to the Sealy News studios. And we're going to go ahead and get into this thing here. So I'm going to begin by having the candidates each introduce themselves and the positions they're running for.
My name is Adam Burchell. I have lived in and around Sealy my entire life. I'm married for 7 years to my lovely wife, Erica. I am a real estate appraiser. Our business is located here in town. Actually, between my wife and I, we have 3 businesses here locally. I've also served 3 years on the Economic Development Corporation Board, and now I'm here before you as a City Council hopeful.
I'm Sandra Vrablich. I've lived here for about 29 years. I've been married for 38 years. I've been on council for 2 terms, which is 6 years. And I've recently retired from Austin County.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Tarver. I'm running for City Council. I've been here all of my life. I am married to a lovely husband. I have 3 kids. And I've been working for the state almost 39 and a half years. And I've been, like I said, I've been living in Sealy all my life.
My name is John Hensey, born and raised here. Besides the few years that I moved away for college, came back. My wife of 14 years as of yesterday, by the way. We've been happily married, at least I think so. Hopefully she does too. We have 2 children, a 9 and 10-year-old, and been on City Council for the last 3 years, been on the EDC board for the last 6, and here to hopefully get 3 additional years.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and start right in here. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, John.
Okay.
What's more important for our city right now? Building new homes in commercial space, or rehabbing and expanding and better utilizing our existing homes and storefronts, and why?
So I don't particularly care for this question because there's no right or wrong answer. Both of these things are extremely important. The small town charm and feel of Sealy is about our history, about our housing, and the businesses that have come years and years before. I definitely don't want to put those on the back burner. However, we must grow, and it's coming. Everybody knows Katie's coming this way. We have got to be ready to handle that growth. And as of right now, I think we're in a perfect place for that. In fact, I believe Katie's pretty much skipped Brookshire and is headed this way. So our overall goal has always been, at least my goal has been while I've been on council, is to try to keep our small town charm and our small town feel. But I've never been against growth. We need to have that tax base increase. We've got a demand on our infrastructure, and we've got to have the tax dollars to bring that in. And instead of raising tax dollars on our current residents, we've got to have that income come in from somewhere else, i.e. the businesses that are starting to come in. And we have to have housing. Right now, our housing situation, it's definitely a seller's market. You'll see houses that are, unfortunately in pretty disrepair, going for hundreds of thousands of dollars because there's just not a place to live. So I definitely want to see more housing coming in to support the tax base that we need to increase our infrastructure and provide money for the projects that are going to be needed for the future.
All right, thank you. Next.
I want to see more new homes, affordable homes. Like I said, I've been here all my life. I adore the city of Sealy, but the city of Sealy is growing. Brookshire, Katie is coming our way, and I want to see more commercial things coming out. So the taxes won't be so high, try to, down the taxes so, we won't have to pay so much taxes. But again, I would love to see more affordable homes coming and more commercial coming out to the city of Sealy.
Okay. Kimberly?
We need both. We need to keep the small town charm, but we also need more housing, commercial businesses coming in so that people will shop here and the tax dollars will stay here, which will help the city expand. And we have a lot of empty houses and a lot of empty storefronts right now, which we need to get those filled. That will help us a lot, because there's a lot of people wanting to move out here. They can't find the size house they're needing, and there's just a shortage. That's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah, the two should not be mutually exclusive. We should make both a priority. Doing what I do on a day-to-day basis as a real estate appraiser, I see that there's a strong demand for housing in the market, but there just isn't an inventory. But at the same time, you don't want to increase supply to a certain extent to where it's an oversupply. You want to keep a nice equilibrium between, so that demand is slightly above supply, so that there's still a market for the older homes, so for people to come in, like John said, and buy and then revitalize. For commercial businesses, we want to continue to provide infrastructure. We want to continue to increase our footprint with regard to water, sewer, and gas, so that the city of Sealy looks good to businesses that come looking for potential sites. As for local businesses, we have grant programs for facade and beautification, and there's also potential funding for existing business expansion. So maybe it's a matter of promoting those programs that we have. But like I said, yes, we need new housing, but we also have to concentrate on the driving force of our economy, which is current residents and existing small businesses.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, for our next question, we'll just go right back around again. How do you plan to involve residents in decision-making processes in our town?
So one thing that the city has done is we've become extremely transparent. Not only do we have our city council meetings videotaped, and they can be seen online, and we have a history of those. Those can be seen at any time. We welcome anyone to come to our council meetings and have their words. This is your town. I can't stress enough that we are there to try to do our best. However, we need your input. A lot of times, you may say social media is a great thing. It is. It truly is a good thing. However, there are a lot of negatives with that as well. So I guarantee you, when the city council or the city makes a mistake, we're going to hear about it. So that's the transparency that I'm talking about. The people are more than welcome to come anytime, talk to us. My door is always open. You are more than welcome to email us any time of the day. We will get back with you. We have an excellent director that's always willing to talk to everyone. And we've got amazing employees. So we want the people's input. That's how we make the decisions. Unfortunately, sometimes our hands are tied when it comes to things like that due to our rules and laws that are in place. However, we still want to hear about it. That is the open forum. We want you to come in and talk to us. Unfortunately, that a lot of the times we don't get that. We hear about it after the fact, and we want that in the beginning. Unfortunately, we're not perfect, and we're going to make mistakes. However, we want to hear your input, and that's where it comes from. We are just people that are trying to make a good decision from the facts that we have presented to us. So, and the more input we have, the better decisions we can make.
Thank you. Start.
Yeah, I plan to involve the residents in making the citizen process. I have been going around, speaking to the community, asking them, what is what is your needs? What is it that the city can do? Because it's a lot of people, they won't go to the city meetings, but, there's always saying, the city need to do this, the city need to do that. They wouldn't know the needs if we, the people, won't go out and listen and talk and communicate with each other. So, I would go out, I would communicate with the people and try to, communicate the needs, to let them know, but come up to the city and let them hear your voice to see, what are you needing, what are you wanting, because we won't know unless you come and tell us.
Thank you.
This, like John said, we're transparent. If you need to attend city council meetings, contact your city manager, someone on city council with concerns, attend events that are in the city, and our phone numbers, our addresses, our emails are all available online. They can contact us. And if we have something on the ballot that is for the citizens to vote on, we need to get you out there to vote. We don't have a very good turnout when it comes to the voting, because the stuff on the ballot is going to affect the city and the people that live here. Attend council meetings and events that are held around the city, because several of us that are on city council, we attend those events. If we're not there, something must have come up, but most of the time I'm at any of the events that are held around the city. But you can contact me anytime you would like to. Thank you.
All right. Virtual.
Yeah, I think the obvious ways are attending city council meetings, social media, email. I know I'm personally at my desk about 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. I'm also fortunate enough to have a business here in town. So we're right on the corner of North 2nd Street and Highway 36. So you're welcome to come by anytime and address concerns or questions. But I'd also like to see the city council, if it's possible, have some sort of town forum, town hall forum, or some sort of public forum in which the citizens can come in a group setting and address their concerns and present any questions that they may have.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, going back around again for our next question. What will you do to support a vibrant economy in our area?
So, for the last 6 years, I've sat on the EDC board. It's like I said, our city's growing. We've had the privilege of working with two amazing manufacturers that have come in. We've already those two alone have already provided over 500 jobs for our city, which is amazing just in that fact. As far as economy-wise, that's bringing in and or will bring in a tremendous amount of tax dollars for us. We're able to, as far as the city and the county is concerned, we're able to provide special grants that will hopefully bring in additional business, additional funding for these businesses to hopefully select us over other cities. We just hired a new EDC director as well as an executive assistant to that EDC director, who is, I don't want to say an assistant, more as a vice director, is the way I would kind of like to put it. The new director will be training this new individual as his backup. So when he is away attending other functions, she can step right in and continue the progress that we're already making. So right there, I think us as a council have shown that we're willing to put forth the effort to bring in additional revenue and additional companies into our city. We really believe that that will increase in the long run, and we'll make our money back tenfold through our tax base and through the spending in our town. There are numerous businesses and numerous manufacturing that is in the process of looking at Sealy. However, unfortunately, due to the fact of secret issues behind those, we're not obliged to be able to speak on those. However, please realize there are numerous things that are coming down the pipe, and we're definitely on the way up, and our growth is continuing to be an important factor in our ability to keep working.
Okay, very good. Barbara?
Yeah, in bringing the new support vibrant economy to our area, I think, just like Mr. Hens is saying, if we can bring some of the businesses here, and then plus the businesses that we have here, and the money that we spend, we need to keep it here, so we can make our economy grow and make instead of going out of town, we spend it in our town to make our economy better. So any businesses here, my money would be spent here, so our economy would be better.
All right.
We need to shop local, we need to support our local businesses. Since I've been on council for 6 years now, we've had 4 to 5 businesses open up. We have several more fixing to open up. There's some coming down the line that, because of confidentiality, we can't release any information on that. But once we need to remember, shop local, so our businesses can thrive here, and the more they thrive, the more other businesses will want to come in here.
Okay. Mr. Burchell?
Yeah, sure. There's plenty of things that are on the horizon, and I think that the city, in conjunction with the EDC, has done a great job in providing infrastructure for those companies. But I think overall we need to focus on diversification of our local employment base. We can't be reliant on one business sector. We've been there before with BAE, where we lost 3,000 jobs just because of one government contract was pulled. So if we diversify our economy, we can protect against instances like that, and also be a bit recession-proof if and when that ever comes again.
Very good, thank you. Okay, the next question here. The city was recently awarded a $2 million community development block grant that must be spent in low to moderate income areas. The funds will be spent on drainage projects. Do you agree with this, and why?
Well, there's 2 things that I feel that are the biggest issues that the city is facing at this time. Is our aging infrastructure and our drainage. Our aging infrastructure, hopefully we are working on that currently. We passed a bond issue a few months back that we're about to replace gas and water lines up and down Main Street. So that will provide the additional fire protection and the water supply needed up and down Main Street. The block grant, which is absolutely amazing, a godsend, if you will, $2 million will be spent on drainage. The reason behind that is the drainage in this town has been getting better. Case in point, we received 25 inches of rain during our last hurricane. Praise God, we probably skirted that issue the best we could. Our infrastructure was able to handle most of it. There were unfortunately a few that were not so lucky, but these new storms are coming up all the time. So it is our job as a council to spend that money in the most appropriate way. And the Front Street drainage is probably our number one priority that we're working on, which that drainage plan drains over half of the city just down that one drain. The Folk Street, I hate to use this word, Folk Street ditch in between Front Street and Folk Street, the land is actually caving in between that ditch because of that runoff. So we are spending that money to reinforce that ditch, to aid and clean out and make sure the water flows better, and will help with the drainage downstream. We are working on other projects on San Philip Street that is also a big issue for us, and of course Westview. Westview continually floods. So we're currently getting an engineered plan to work all the way from BNPW all the way down. So we are spending the money wisely, and this will aid in the future, not only for us now, but for our future in Sealy.
All right. Starter?
Yes, thank you for the answer, because I was gonna ask you what was the low to moderate income area, so you explained to me what all those areas are. And I do believe, because it is a lot of areas, like I said, I've been out communicating with people, and they are talking about the drainage, that, the flooding and stuff going on. So I think that would be a good project in spending it on the drainage.
All right. Mrs. Vrabel?
Yes, the city applied for an infrastructure assistant for the 2016 flood disaster that was declared, and these funds have to be used for disaster-related expenses in the most impacted and distressed area. And the city experienced 2 disaster events between April 17th and 30th of 2016. And the heavy rainfall impacted the city's drainage infrastructure and subsequently damaged streets, embankments, and real property. The city lacks proper drainage channels and has many severely aged culverts. The heavy rain caused flooding, which was not able to move properly around the city's main thoroughfare, causing street damage and the inability for residents to move throughout the city. The city received a small FEMA allocation to repair the culverts on Front and Moody Street, but that was not adequate to address and further mitigate damage further to allocate the city received. The culverts and ditches that are being addressed do not provide significant conveyance of water and quickly cause flooding conditions during heavy rain events. The city officials, engineers, and the city staff developed a long-range approach to its recovery efforts. The 3 main factors are the health and safety of the residents, the substantial of the community, and comprehensive mitigation measures that would protect the city and its residents from future storm events. The planning and development phase identified several sites that were either compromised due to the storm events or found to be inadequate to handle the severe storm events. It is believed that completing these projects will allow the city to move forward in the long-term recovery with the focus on addressing additional critical infrastructure that will positively impact the city's ability.
Thank you. Mr. Burchell?
I do, just to go back to the question, I do think that the city being awarded the $2 million development block grant should be spent on drainage. The original intent by the state of Texas in issuing those funds was to help mitigate flooding that was caused by the 2016 flood. So I think that it's appropriate that those funds be appropriated for that reason. We need to continue to build on our drainage infrastructure. This is a good start, but we still have a long ways to go. There's, in addition to the Front Street project runs from 8th Street down to Jason Lane, but there are other areas in town, like previously mentioned, on 2nd Street, there's a drainage ditch that corrodes. It's patched up every day, but it continually corrodes. But again, it's a good start, and it's, like John said, it's a blessing that we received $2 million, but we have to continue to look towards more infrastructure.
Great, thank you. Okay. Do you think the city should have an ethics policy, and why?
Well, it's funny you asked that question. We actually received a draft of the ethics policy for the council just this week or two ago. So we are currently working on an ethics policy. I do think it's a good idea. It holds us all accountable. When you first go on to council, you must attend a TML conference that basically teaches you how to become a council member. Those are rules and guidelines that you must follow, and you can actually be getting into a lot of trouble if you do not follow that, up to and including jail time. So those are things that are needed for us to all follow. Not that any of us are breaking any of those rules, but I think it's a good guideline, and it's something that we can go back on and continue to revise if need be, and or hold people accountable to. So I look forward to it. I believe we'll have it approved probably within the next 2 council meetings, I would imagine. So I look forward to it.
Okay, Mrs. Tarver.
Yes, I do think we should have ethics policy because it would help define our commitment to support a culture of opening, of trust, integrity in all that we do, and it would also clarify our standard of conduct.
Mrs. Fragrant.
Like John said, the city's is working on the ethics policy right now, and it should go before council either next week or maybe the meeting after that. And everybody should be held accountable. When you get elected, you attend a TML, newly elected officials conference. That opens a lot of people's eyes when they attend that, because some things they can just do whatever, say whatever, and you learn there's certain things you cannot do or say, because since we're a home rule city, we need to refer a lot of things to the city manager, because he is in charge, and we guide him. But everybody needs to be held accountable for their actions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Burchell.
Yeah, I'm all for an ethics policy. It would basically give an assurance to the city, to the people, the citizens of the city of Sealy, that their elected and appointed officials act with integrity and a decorum that's expected of the office, and instill a confidence to the public for those elected officials. So yeah, definitely in favor of an ethics policy.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to wrap this up now with a final question, and this will give you each a chance for your own little spiel here, but we want to know, why should constituents vote for you?
Okay, well, first of all, the first thing I learned when I got on council is you're never going to make everybody happy. The decisions that you make today are going to affect the way the city runs for years and years and years to come. And as soon as you make one decision that you thought was right, there's going to be 10 people that told you were wrong. So my advice to whoever wins these council seats is have an open heart, an open mind, listen, and make the best decision possible with the information that is given to you. With that being said, it has been an honor and a pleasure to sit on council for the last 3 years. I don't take this position lightly. I make every decision count in my mind. I want to make sure I'm giving the people what they ask for. I chose to run 3 years ago because I felt that I can make a difference. I believe I have. When I sat on council the first time here for the last 3 years, we were in a pretty bad situation. We were spending money left and right. Our general fund was at a very low point. The average run time that we're supposed to have is roughly about 90 days. We were sitting at, I believe, Sandra might be able to help me on that, but closer to probably about 15 days of run time. We are now, as of the last meeting, up to 75 days, which is a huge undertaking by cost cutting, making sure that we still get our projects done, but in a timely, more efficient manner, and use the funds that are available and not overspend on them. And just to make sure that we get along. That's the other thing that really upset me when I first ran for council. There was a lot of infighting. That has pretty much gone away. We do still have disagreements. However, those disagreements are not arguments anymore. We talk through things, and that's why we are progressing as a whole. We don't just sit in a stalemate any longer. Things move forward, and I would truly appreciate the opportunity for 3 more years and allow us to push this forward again. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Tarver?
My constituents will pick me because I want to see new things come out, and like Mr. Hinton say, everybody is not going to be agreeable with everything that is happening, but when we stick together as a community and the people will come out and let us know what they want. Like I said, everything is not going to be taken care of. It takes a whole community to work together in order for things to happen. But because, and I think they would vote for me because I want the best and for the best and what's most important for the needs of the people and for the people of the city of Sealy.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Brakeland?
I have worked diligently the past 6 years on city council to help make needed improvements. We have brought our money up to almost where it needs to be on our reserve. And I'm familiar with the inner workings of the city and the county government. I'm a certified municipal official. I have a certificate of recognition. I've attended TML Leadership Academy, their budget workshop, conferences, webinars, and the regional meetings. A lot of people think when they get on council, that's it. There is a lot of training that you need to attend to. Some of it you can do on webinars, some of it's just one day. It may be in Houston or a close town by here. And a lot of us on council, there used to be a lot of squabbling, but now we can agree to disagree and we move on to the next project. You need to remember that it doesn't take one vote, it takes 4 votes to get something passed on council. So I ask that you vote for me so I can continue with a few things that we have in the works. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Burchell?
I think all of us here are pretty knowledgeable about the goings on of the city, and we all respect, admire, and love our city. I think that my strengths are a new perspective. For one, I think that what I do in my day-to-day business as a real estate appraiser, I analyze market trends, perform market analysis, try to figure out why if a community is increasing or decreasing, and what aspects are making it do so. In addition to that, I think that my experience as a business owner has helped me make insightful and tough decisions that not only affect me personally, but all of our employees. So I think that transfers well to the city council, and I appreciate all the support shown so far, and in the future.
All right. Well, that brings our forum here to a conclusion, and I want to thank each of the candidates for coming out tonight. We hope you find this informative and helpful as you prepare to make your decision to vote on May 4th. So please do plan to vote. Your vote does count. And we do want to invite you to be back with us at 7 o'clock tonight as we do a forum with our school board candidates. So thank you and have a great evening.